Yeah.
Welcome back, everyone, to Fun in the Locker Room. This is our second edition of the show post-college. We're getting the show back together. You can see our beautiful faces now, and you can see all these glorious apartments that we're in right now. Obviously, we all live in there. We're not, these are just fake backgrounds, but back at it with more sports debates, plenty of hot takes, news, talking everything in the world of sports. We'll get into some NFL today. It's been kind of a quieter portion of the offseason, but we still have some headlines to talk about. NBA also in the offseason as well. We're past the draft, past free agency, but we still have some things that we can talk about. And then MLB, we're right around the trade deadline. A lot of teams are going to have to decide if they're going to be buyers or sellers during this time. So we'll definitely have a lot to talk about then. And then, as always, we'll get into some birthdays. And then our new segment we started last time doing Hoops Grid, just a little fun, interactive way that you can, join with us at home. As always, all these are going to be posted on YouTube. You can watch all the recordings from when we were in college on the radio at 89.1 FM WXVU Villanova Student Radio The Roar. You can follow the Twitter where we're trying to interact with everything, and then we'll post all the hoops grids and NBA crossovers that we do for you guys to see as well. So make sure to stay updated with those. We're going to try and make this a weekly thing. But for now, as always, let's start with some NFL news. It's going to be a brief segment today, but we do have a couple breaking news that we'll talk about. I'm going to hand it over to Mr. Sean Rankle, as the first one is kind of close to home for him.
Yeah, breaking news. It was exciting waking up yesterday morning to news that Saquon Barkley was officially back with the New York Giants. I know, Truett, you were quite confused about why this deal went through and why it happened. And I got to tell you, as a Giants fan, I don't really care how it went through. I'm just happy you got done with. But from Saquon's side of it, $11 million, $10.1 million base plus $900K in incentives that seem reachable based on his history. But it is interesting how all this stuff, and he only got $900K more. I know he couldn't sign a long-term deal, but interesting choice for him. But I'm happy he's back with the Giants.
Yeah, Rick, I'm pretty happy for you as well. I'm just confused on his part. I think that's why I stated it earlier. It seems like he's just signing the franchise tag, but it's not the franchise tag.
Yeah, I think he's basically everything he's come out and saying was he didn't want to hold out. He wanted to be a Giant for life. He's talked to the ownership. I think he wants to be here long term. And I think this was just another step in that process. I don't think he's the type of guy who wants to hold out, and getting $900K more than the franchise tag is at least something for him. So it is what it is. I think the franchise tag is 120% of your previous year's salary. So this $90,000 increase, 120% of it, I don't know, 1.2 million-ish. So that's an additional 1.2 million he gets on the franchise tag next year if he gets tagged again. So that's always a nice bonus for him. But it does seem minuscule in the grand scheme of things of the increase over the franchise tag.
Yeah, I mean, sure, go get your extra $1 million, but I mean, okay. So you said he wants to be a Giant for life, and he's talked with management. And we talked, last week about how the running back market is really just kind of screwed, and everyone's being very vocal about it. And I think, as I should, if I was a running back in the NFL like Derrick Henry, I would be vocal about it too. But if he really wants to be a Giant for life, and he's not a dumb guy, he's not a dumbass. His agent's not a dumbass. I'm sure they realize that there's a reason why they're not paying running backs with injury concerns, and how long is your prime and your production going to last? If I were him, I would try to sway like a 5-year, 6-year deal where there's a base salary that's relatively pretty low, but there's like several incentives per year based off how many games you play, maybe some statistical achievements like how many yards, how many carries, how many touchdowns, add a Pro Bowl incentive, a playoff incentive in there. But if the league and the owners are really worried about paying these guys and, basically just having dead money because they're going to be injured all the time, or they might have to cut them because they just suck, make it like incentive based and have like a very low base pay, like maybe a couple mil or something, and then really throw in the incentives of, okay, you got 1,000 yards. Okay, you played like all 17 games. Like now you get big money. But if you don't, like if you get injured or you just kind of come back from injury and you just suck, you get like 300 yards in a season, very few carries, then you're going to stay, your base pay. That's just me. But I don't know how feasible that is. Like, obviously both parties have to agree and whatever. But
Yeah, I definitely agree. I think that's what they should be going towards long term. I'm curious. I don't fully know the NFL salary cap situation, but I know how it's like a fixed cap, and I wonder if those incentives count towards the cap in the future. Like, do they have to like keep that money left over in case those incentives are reached or things like that? So I don't know if that creates picture things like that.
Yeah, because then at that point, that's just like if they save space for that money and then he doesn't reach it, that's just money you could have spent on other players that just didn't get allocated towards a team. Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, and after whatever the deadline was, sometime last week, he couldn't sign a long-term contract anymore. So I think it's just a nice step, but maybe next year they can finally get a deal worked out for him in the future, because I think we all know Daniel Jones that Saquon Barkley is not a $45 million quarterback.
Yeah.
Anything else? News? Yeah. Ignoring Saquon, Justin Herbert got his big payday. I think there was a stat that showed that in this offseason, Jalen Hurts was the highest paid quarterback for 10 days, and then Lamar Jackson came along and he was the highest paid quarterback for like 60 days, and now Herbert's taken over that mantle. I guess there used to be a saying that you had to win a playoff game to get paid, but it seems like that no longer applies, considering Herbert's done nothing in the playoffs in his career.
I mean, he had the biggest choke, maybe besides the 20-3, but
yeah.
Your Chargers rank. How do you feel about this contract extension?
It is what it is, but like they have to pay him. He's a top 5 quarterback in the league, regardless of playoff success. I think that's pretty talent-wise. He's definitely up there. And next guy gets paid. It's how it always works in sports. And he was next guy, and Joe Burrow will come along in a couple of weeks and get paid more than that, is my guess. So it'll only last for a short period of time.
I like this new wave of quarterbacks we're getting. All these guys getting big contracts. It reminds me of what we had in our childhood: Brady, Rodgers, Breeze. It's just, I don't know. It's awesome. It feels like we have this new wave coming in, and a lot of these guys are going to be here to stay. I think it's great for the league. I just wish that you guys talked about the running backs. I wish they'd have a little more investment in that. I don't know if you guys saw all the top running backs in the league got in a Zoom meeting together, and they were talking, and Nick Chubb brought up a great point. He said they're kind of the only position in the entire league that if they have a great season prior, before a contract extension, kind of hurts them, because people will say, oh, this guy had 2,000 yards on a billion carries. He's definitely going to be worn down. Like, his legs can't take it. I thought that was a really interesting tidbit from that. I don't know. It's interesting though. I really like the investments in the quarterbacks though.
What would you call? You talk about the new wave. Who would you put in this new wave?
Burrow, Jalen Hurts, Herbert. Mahomes is still, pretty young. He's going to be around for another 10 years. All these guys. Lamar, he's going to be around for a while.
Josh Allen, Trevor Lawrence still in there.
Yeah, Trevor Lawrence.
I noticed no Zach Wilson in there. Okay, it was an obvious joke.
Even Brock Purdy, all these guys,
Okay.
I mean, he won a couple games last year, but I don't know. It's good to see we kind of have this new wave of guys that are going to be around for a long time. I think it's great.
Yeah, I agree, and it does kind of feel like the Brady, the Manning, the everything that we the Breeze and everything. Kind of going back to that Nick Chubb point. I hadn't thought of it that way. That's a pretty good point. The durability and not only is it it's hard to replicate those type of seasons, but it's also just I feel like out of anything in sports, the running back position has got to be the worst on the human body for sure. That must just take years off your life, having 2,000 yards on however many carries. That can't be good for you.
No, there's a ticking time clock with them.
Yeah. Anything else on running backs, quarterbacks?
A
couple other minor details. We'll talk about. So Washington. I'm going to go back to calling them the football team, because they did say they might. There's rumors they might totally rebrand to just like get past the, era that they were in. But their ticket sales under new management have already surpassed last year's ticket sales. I don't think that's surprising to anybody.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm excited for them. I'm happy they got Dan Snyder out of there.
New DC resident rank right there.
Yeah,
you
it's
might get to go some games.
I wonder how, I feel like now in these days of owners owning multiple different sports teams, how much it hurts allegiances. So the new owners of the football team own the New Jersey Devils and the Sixers. So I feel like if you're does it lose a little bit of the rivalry? Is this new owner of the football team theoretically still going to be rivals with the Eagles, because he also owns the Sixers, who live right next door? It just seems a little wrong to me that these teams are only I felt like this guy was in on the Mets, and I personally was against him owning the Mets because he's a Philly guy who owns the Sixers. It felt wrong to me, him owning a rival city sports teams.
That's interesting, Rank. I never thought of it like that. Rival sports teams, but I think having owners that own other sports teams is a really good thing, because it means that they're going to be stable, and we're not going to have situations like they had prior.
Yeah, I had never thought of the different cities things as well. I mean, it is different sports. Obviously, I'm pretty sure it'd be illegal if they owned multiple teams in the same league. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. You would hope that they would keep it a little professional, because at the end of the day, okay, if you own the Sixers and maybe you have some attachment towards the Eagles, that just kind of it just kind of fucks yourself over if you're gonna be a little impartial to the Eagles, because then okay, the Redskins are just gonna suffer, and at the same time that's your asset, that's your investment. I don't know. I mean, that's a good point. But I would hope that they're professional enough to be oh, we're not gonna maybe they're in a bidding war for some free agent, and the Eagles have the highest bid. They're oh, we're not gonna bid because I low-key want the Eagles to get it because I own the Sixers.
It's definitely not.
I would hope that wouldn't happen, but
But I want my owners to be super fans, like the Steve Ballmers, the Steve Cohens of the world. That I don't know. It felt the wrong to me back then. It felt wrong to me now if I was a Washington football fan. But at this point, if you're a fan of the Washington football team, you want anybody in there other than Dan Snyder. So you're not too picky.
If you're the owner, I mean, if he was born in Philly, raised Philly sports, bought the Sixers, then I'd be okay. But I'm assuming that the owners probably are looking at it from an opportunistic perspective, not I want to buy all the teams that I grew up watching and stuff. He might be from fucking Texas or something, and then just say, I'm gonna go buy some East Coast teams.
He's from Washington. He's from DC actually, so it's kind of defeats my purpose in that.
So the Sixers are really the ones getting fucked over.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah,
I'm fine with that.
What is he gonna root for the fucking Wizards though instead? I don't think that's any conflict of interest whatsoever.
No.
Last piece that we have for the NFL is Zach Martin, pretty infamous for just being a dominant offensive lineman for the Cowboys. I think was he there back in the Romo days.
He was the end of the Romo days, when Zeke and Dak got drafted.
Yeah, I mean, that's why Zeke fucking looked so good at the beginning of his career. He's holding out right now. He is one of the he's in the top 30 of highest paid linemen, but he posted to his Instagram, and I think it's his new profile picture, that he was just joined the 99 overall club in Madden the video game, and he posted that and made his profile picture and whatever, and then I think that was kind of a confirmation I'm a 99, that's clearly reflective on my skill and my production. I'm not getting compensated, accordingly. And I'm sure that's not the only factor. I'm sure he realizes all the advanced metrics can tell you how good offensive linemen are. But what do you think the Cowboys do here? Because they obviously have a lot of money that they're paying for a lot of guys on the team.
I heard an argument about this. I was hearing this the other day online, and Zach Martin signed a deal. I think it was 2 years ago. That was a 5-year deal that made him at the time the highest paid offensive lineman. And in sports in general, in life in general, you can either sign a contract for a lot of years where you have stability, but you're not going to be the highest paid player at the end of those contracts. It's just something you have to accept. Or you can sign shorter deals where you can re-up and bet on yourself and go forward. Similar to what LeBron did back in the day when he had those short deals with Cleveland that gave him flexibility going forward. So I don't feel bad for Zach Martin. He decided to take the years, take the stability. You can't come back a year later and complain about the highest paid offensive lineman when you decided to take the years, not the immediate money.
I think it's a great point, and I think it's even more prevalent in football rather than basketball, because that's what all football players want, is long-term stability. Like that's why they hate these 1-year deals, these 2-year deals. They hate the not getting the guaranteed money. Like I think it's a phenomenal point, because the NFL economy or whatever the market was at a different point 2 years ago, and he opted in for, like you said, Rank, long-term stability, and that's what you want. And yeah, beggars can't be choosers. You have to just kind of accept that, like, this is the direction that sports is going. Like, it seems like every sports league just gets more and more money to allocate towards players, which is great. But yeah, that's a good point. Anything,
like look at Mahomes. Like Mahomes took this 10-year contract, and he's not the highest paid quarterback anymore, but he got the long-term stability.
Yeah, exactly. Like, and he was at the time, right? Was that the time? Yeah. And now he's not, and I don't think he's gonna be bitching and moaning about it. So, how long do you think this holdout lasts?
As a Giants fan who's playing the Cowboys week 1, I hope it lasts past week 1. But I don't really know.
I mean, he is, like, very valuable. He makes Dak and Zeke look, as good as they are, or as good as they were in Zeke's case. Is he? Do you know if he's on the blind side of Dak Prescott? Of Dak Prescott?
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
He is? Okay, so he's even more important. Yeah, so I don't know. I mean, I kind of think it's going to be like a Saquon thing where he doesn't really want to hold out. He wants to play football, and, they'll probably remind him, like, hey, 2 years ago when we negotiated this, we gave you what you wanted, so why don't you quit your whining and fucking suit up and play? But I don't know. Any other football news before we switch sports? It's a quiet offseason so far, or at this point at least.
Yeah, training camp's still starting up. We'll see how. I think I've heard rumors that Aaron Rodgers looking good with Garrett Wilson, so I think that's making me a little excited over there.
Yeah, comeback player of the year, Michael Thomas. Let's lock that in.
Oh my God.
Did you play?
Isn't that what you said last year too?
Yeah.
He played great in the games that he played, to be fair.
I think it's like under 100 days till week 1 or something.
Hooray.
Yeah,
I got something for the NFL.
Yeah.
Reunited with his glory days, back in New Orleans. I don't know how I feel about this, but Jimmy Graham is back with the Saints.
I saw that, yeah.
I don't know why they did that.
Deal,
he's so washed. I don't know what's going on there. Maybe just like a mentor type of thing. I hope.
Is this like a farewell tour?
Yeah, because let's keep it a buck. He really doesn't deserve to be on the field. So yeah, but good for him. You
guys got to be paying him like nothing, right?
It just said when the ESPN notification came up that they signed a deal. So I think
it's probably the minimum.
They sent a. Yeah, I don't know what it was. It doesn't even say. Yeah.
That had to have been one of the worst trades in Seahawks history by far. That was just, we gave you like the best center in the league.
Yeah, you gave us Max Unger.
Yeah.
And he was a beast.
And you guys can even attest, we have never had a good O-line or an O-line in general since then. He was like the head of our group.
Yeah. And he gave us a first-round pick, too.
Yeah. But, of course, John Schneider had to get greedy. Pete Carroll got greedy. Like, fuck it. Let's go get some more pass catchers. I mean, he sucked. and we're still struggling to find a center. But hey, that's just how it goes. NBA news: Jaylen Brown just signed a massive extension. I think it's like 60 a year. All right.
At the end of each 60 years, it's like 300 million for like 5 years. I think the end it's like 60 million a year. Yeah.
That's ridiculous. I saw they like compared it to a tweet. I want to say it was in like 2017 of when Mike Conley signed a 5-year 150, and he was the highest paid at the time, which is just ridiculous because it was like only a few years ago. And kind of like what we were saying with the NFL, like you're just getting like teams are just getting more and more money to allocate to players, which is great. Before we like get into like the breakdown of this, like just a quick question, like how old are we gonna be when we see like people signing for $100 million a year?
I think it's gonna be sooner than we think.
Next 10 years.
Yeah.
Wow.
Easily.
All right, Greg, Celtics fan. Thoughts? Good, bad, ugly? Goodbye money?
Yeah, like in the current year, yes, goodbye money. But as you were saying, contracts will get more and more expensive, and this will not be looking as bad in a couple of years.
That's crazy. In a couple of years, 60 million. I mean, I'm not disagreeing with you, but I'm just saying it's a crazy statement.
Yeah, it is a crazy statement. But you think obviously the finals didn't look great for him. I think we can all agree the left-hand thing was not great. But if you look at what the two of them have accomplished in their career so far together, Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, it's hard not to consider them one of the best duos in the NBA. Plus, you're adding Porzingis. They've played really well together. I know there's been constant trade talks about Jaylen Brown, but they seem to be just like so close to getting over the hump. Like you think about the Bucks a couple years ago when Giannis was talked about not being able to get over the hump, and then 1 year happened and he did get over the hump, and this was just happened. I think the Celtics need to continue with their window as wide open as possible, and these extensions just keep their championship window wide open. And these two together can win a championship. I have no doubt in my mind about that. And next year could be the year, but it's in the NBA and only one team gets to do each year. And the crazy thing about sports.
Liam, anything on
I
what are your
think
thoughts?
the Celtics better win 2 championships in the next 4 seasons, because after that it's not going to be pretty. It's going to be a total rebuild just looking at their money. So
who are they going to be paying
like
money
it,
to in
it's
4
a win
years?
now.
Like who's going to be on the books in 4 years?
Let's see. It's going to be
it open?
Yeah, Brown, Tatum, and Kristaps, which is 70% of their salary cap.
What contract is Porzingis on?
He's on an extension.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
He's getting 30. Jaylen Brown's going to be getting 60. Oh,
but
boy.
You think you're rocking with this new big three of the future. You're really committed to this.
You know, Rank, I will say this. I think this big three is a lot better than what the Suns have going on. I'll say that.
Absolutely.
I'll say that.
Defense, there's versatility.
And people want to play in Boston.
Mm-hmm.
People will sign Mins to play.
Obviously, Porzingis haven't shown he's played together, but Jaylen Brown and Tatum have shown they can play well together.
Yeah. I think they'll be okay, but you gotta start, you gotta win a championship.
Do they have any other choice? Like no. You let them walk? Like they have no choice.
You can't let them walk. I don't know what other team would benefit from signing. I know they said that they were going to trade Dame for him at one point. I don't think that would work out well for the Blazers. I think the Celtics kind of had to do it, and I think they're a win now. They're going to go for it. There's nothing wrong with this.
But they also win now, but they also have the 2 guys locked up for a while, so they have some history. Like they can bring guys in as role players over the years, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Don't forget you got to extend Robert Williams too.
Yeah, he's on the books for a while.
Williams?
So, yeah.
Oh, that's good.
It's those 4 and Jordan Walsh.
Yeah, our rookie.
He kind of balled out a little bit.
He did.
Yeah.
I didn't know if
So
if Liam, you were going for the Jordan Walsh haircut or something.
thanks, Truitt. Nice
It looks
hat, by
great.
the way. Let's
Looks
see what's
great,
going
buddy.
on under that hat. How about that?
No, it's
But
not. It's not good. It's not good.
I don't know. It's like all teams now. If you make a big three or even a big two, you have to hit on your vet mins, you have to hit on your rookies, and you have to hit on your money line. Your mid-level exceptions. So I think the Celtics are going to be fine because they have those players. Their destination. People are going to want to go play at the end of their careers. Maybe a little ring chase there because they'll be able to. So I think this is, it's what the Celtics had to do. It's certainly not a bad situation for them.
Rank is would you say the next until this contract with Jaylen Brown's over and Tatum's is over, would you say every year up until then, if you do not win a championship, that season is a failure?
That's a stupid thing, and it pisses me off.
I know,
and
I'm thinking about when Giannis said that, but at the same time, come on, it kind of is.
Yes, it is, and as I think it's how a lot of sports teams think about it. And yes, I would view the Celtics season as a failure if they don't win the championship every year.
Frank, I'll ask you this.
And I felt that way for the past couple of years.
Frank, if you get, I'll tell you, in the next 6 seasons, you get 2 championships. Are you happy?
Absolutely.
Perfect. I think the Celtics will definitely get at least one.
As somebody who hasn't seen a championship in a long time, and the life of I can remember things, it's nice to get one.
Yeah.
I mean, we can talk about the Dame. We talked about it last week, right? Dame getting traded. It's nothing really has changed, right? Rumors or odds or anything.
When's it gonna happen?
Or after, or before, middle, or later? What's your vote? Middle of season, before season, middle of season, or later?
I think trade deadline.
I hope it happens before the season. I really do.
I have another question because ESPN just released their power rankings for the NBA season.
I saw that, rank.
And I have a question about the Heat. If the Heat don't get Dame, where are they finishing in the East? Because ESPN has them ranked as the 5th best team in the league, and that's ridiculous to me. Ahead of the Sixers.
That's insane.
I wouldn't put them at 5 at all. I mean, they lost. I think if you did the last season over again, I don't think they would finish as the 8th seed or wherever. They wouldn't finish in the play-in. They were injured the entire year, and then in the playoffs, you saw what they were capable of. That being said, Max Strus is gone. Gabe Vincent's gone. They're probably gonna find some fucking undrafted player, and I thought they were gonna be screwed when Kendrick Nunn left, and then they just found Gabe Vincent and Max Strus, and they're gone. And I'm sure they'll find another undrafted guy. So I say that, but I think 5 is a little too high. I thought if you had said 5 in the East, I'd be maybe.
I don't think they're even top 10 in the NBA. I wouldn't pick them a top 10 team in the NBA.
No, I wouldn't either. If they kept all their guys, maybe.
Yeah.
You thought they were screwed when Kendrick Nunn left.
Yeah, because Kendrick Nunn had a good season for them.
Oh, bro, that's funny. What are their championships?
He was a starter. He almost won Rookie of the Year that year.
Does it have their championship odds on there?
Yeah.
Plus
1,800.
Wow, that's insane.
The Mavericks actually have better odds than the Heat.
I mean, yeah.
Well, that doesn't shock me.
I don't know. I don't know. I think I talked about the Mavericks a lot with you guys. I think that Kyrie and Luka only playing 20 games together when Luka was hurt, and them not being able to get full team chemistry when they just had bums around them too. I think they're going to be very solid, especially if they can get a center. I'm thinking top 3 in the West.
Yeah, I'm in that camp too. I think having a full training camp under your belt. You're right. They didn't play a lot of games together, and this isn't like 2K My League. You can't just mash these players together. They have to. These are 2 guys who have very distinct play styles, right? You can't just expect day one they're going to figure out how to play together. They both need the balls in their hands. They both need the ball in their hands. Give me a second.
No, I know what you mean, Troy. Yeah.
The point is, I agree with you. Frank, you talk. I need a minute.
Yeah, I disagree. I think, to be honest, I'm a Kyrie hater, considering what he's done in his last two destinations. And I think if you look at his career in the past 4 years since he's left Cleveland, he's done nothing to prove that he is worthy of the admiration that people give him. He has not been able to have a full season. He hasn't put it all together consistently. There's always an issue with him at some point during the season. And I don't see that changing until it does. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe the Mavs are going to have a great season, but I think he is a cancer to every team, and I don't think it will work out well.
Don't forget, he led the Celtics to the number 1 seed in the East that 1 year. Don't forget that.
And then he did nothing in the playoffs. He got hurt.
Oh, he got hurt. So
Scary Terry led us to the Eastern Conference Finals that year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, on a team with Tatum.
Yeah,
interesting.
He did nothing with the Nets. I don't know. He's got the talent still, but he's just.
I think this is a good fit.
Can he play with great players?
I think this is going to be a great fit for him this season. I think Grant Williams is going to take a big step up, just because he's going to have to play more than he did on the Celtics. I think they get, a bona fide center, a Clint Capella type of guy. They're going to be a really scary team. And I think they right now, after losing like Reggie Bullock and getting rid of Davis Bertans, I think they're a lot more well-rounded than a lot of teams in the West. I'm looking at the Phoenix Suns. I think Jokic showed that team basketball wins. I think the Mavericks are working towards that right now.
A couple questions. Is Christian Wood, was he re-signed or is he still a free agent?
No, he's still a free agent. And the only team that offered him a contract is the Mavs, and it was a vet min. So I don't know what's going to happen. I could see him ending up on the Lakers.
I saw rumors about that.
Which I would really love, because then we could do a sign and trade for Jared Vanderbilt, and then our team would just be set.
Second question is, well, 3 questions actually. Is Jason Kidd still the coach? Did he get fired?
Nope, he's still there.
Okay. Third question. If you're Jason Kidd, what type of offense are you looking to run? Like, are you going to ask Kyrie to play off ball when they're on the court together?
I think you look at Luka kind of like a less athletic Cleveland Cavaliers LeBron. Obviously, you have your point. You have 2 point guards on the court. They can get an open shot for anybody. I don't think it's much as a problem of like letting them play off ball with each other. I think it's having other guys in the court that can make open shots. Because Luke and Kyrie are going to give you 25 plus a night.
Yeah.
They're probably going to combine for 20. They should combine for 25 assists a night. It just really depends on if they can play defense and other
guys.
That's
a lot of assists, man. That's 12 each.
You look at like what Luka did last season, his potential assist, it was up in like the high teens, just himself. And he averaged, I think, 9 or 8 or something like that. So I don't know. I think with those two on the court, they get some chemistry going. It's gonna be scary hours. Best backcourt in the NBA. So yeah.
I love how excited you get about talking about it.
I'm very optimistic this season. Very optimistic.
One more thing before we move on. I don't know how we start talking about Kyrie, but I might have sent you guys this video. I saw somewhere that this like research place did this study on like what it means to be athletic, and they said we need to stop defining athleticism by like how fast you can run, like how high you can jump, all that type of stuff. And they like looked at like a bunch of professional athletes and redefined what athleticism means, and they basically made it on like your body control and the purpose of each movement you make. And they found that Luka and Jokic are actually like some of the most athletic players in the NBA because like while they can't run that fast or jump that high, the like body control and their pace and how every movement they make is like purposeful and not wasted is just like so much more elite than other players. And I'm not like saying like that I endorse that. I just thought it was a really interesting thing that came out. You probably said like Luke is like a less athletic, which like yeah, he's less athletic than LeBron, but like I feel like people give him a lot of shit for not being athletic. But I think that narrative like probably should change for those two guys.
I definitely agree with that. I think like the way that Jokic and Luka can manipulate defenses into moving without themselves having to move very much. And you said the body control. You know, you compare a guy like a prime Westbrook, obviously like nuclear athleticism can jump out of the gym, but he can't drive to he couldn't drive to the hoop going 4 miles an hour and have guys just like, you know, step out of the way with a simple a slow Euro step and stuff like that that like Luka and Jokic can do. It's very different, but I would say they make the most out of their movements.
Yeah.
They don't do a lot, but they just manipulate guys into making space and stuff. That's why it's a lot of fun to watch. It's very different from your Derrick Rose prime highlight reels and stuff like that.
Yeah, and I'm glad you bring up like Russ because you think of like Russ and like John Morant who can jump high, move fast, but there's a lot of times when they drive to the rim and they just look totally out of control of their body. And you know, I'm not saying like one is better than the other, but it's just very different forms of athleticism. It's like athleticism should be at the end of the day like very multidimensional. It's not just like, oh, jump high, run fast, like you're athletic. So I just thought it was interesting.
Yeah, different type of athleticism. It's hard to compare the two of them, really.
Yeah. Before we move into other sports, do you want to give prayers up to Bronny James? Went through, just had a cardiac arrest moment during a practice with USC. He's stable now, but I guess our thoughts and prayers go out to the James family. You never want to see that happen to anybody. So just throwing that out there. A couple soccer pieces of news before we move into baseball. Messi, and then also let's just touch on the Mbappe deal.
Oh yeah.
I don't know which one you guys want to do first. That just came to me. I totally forgot about that.
Let's talk about the GOAT first.
Yeah.
Dude, just
Ronaldo?
like
Can one of you guys screen share that goal? I just want to hear that call again. Like, I don't know. There was something about the call of the game winner when he just screams Messi's name, and I just got chills watching it. But you guys are much bigger soccer fans than I am, so I'm gonna let you like talk about this segment. But I would just love to watch that clip.
Wait, Rank, did you say Ronaldo is the GOAT? Is that what you said?
Yeah. I think I have it, Truett.
That right there is peak delusion, folks. Don't buy into that.
Do you want the Spanish version or the American version?
No, the American.
Okay.
I just want to say this. Dude's played 2 games. He's only started 1 game over there, and he's already proved to be probably the best player in the league, which is just insane.
All right. Can you see that?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Oh, I can't hear though.
Can you share audio?
This reminds me of like every Zoom call in class that I've ever been on when a teacher tried to share a video and they just never get the sound working.
1 second. Let's try this again.
Yeah, that free kick was nuts.
Did you guys see that someone was saying that Messi's gonna like struggle when it comes to the MLS? Like some coach said that.
Who
Here we go.
said that?
I don't know. I saw it on ESPN.
Oh, Wayne Rooney said that, Liam.
Nah, bro.
All right, ready?
Yeah. Wait, go to the beginning.
Messi!
Ooh.
Messi! Couldn't have been any other way! Magnificent!
Like if that doesn't get you excited, I don't know what will. That was just like great call by the announcer.
Those jerseys are beautiful. I love.
Yeah, I
those
like the
pink.
collar.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Like, is that like a common soccer thing? The collar?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really like that.
But he's done amazing in MLS so far. He had his first start yesterday. He scored 2 goals in the first 21 minutes. He's scored 3 goals in his first hour of soccer in the MLS. He's going to dominate.
Did he
I'm
not
happy for
start
the,
that first game?
No.
Why was that?
They bring him on. Like, I don't know. It says soccer. They don't really until they start the first game. They bring him on as a sub.
Okay.
I'm really happy for the his teammates on Inter Miami because their value is going to increase so much from playing alongside Messi. So good for them.
I was seeing something yesterday. I think it was like a quote by somebody who was looking at Busquets the other day when he was playing for Inter Miami, and he's like, he got the ball, he turned around, and he looked around 4 times and wondering why nobody was pressuring right away. He's used to Spanish soccer with people on top and he like all this space in the world to do whatever he wanted.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
They're going to dominate.
I think it's great for the sport, though. I hope that soccer keeps growing in America because right now we're on the up and up, especially in like our national team and stuff. And Messi Jr. and Ronaldo Jr. are eligible in a couple of years to play on the U.S. men's national team. So that would be pretty dope.
Were they born in the United States?
Yeah. And all the players for our national team are doing really well. Plisic's now playing for AC Milan. It's a big, not really a step up for him, but a big opportunity to play a lot more and play Champions League football still. So it's going to be really good. I think 2026, when the World Cup is here, I think if they don't reach the semifinals, it's going to be a disappointment at that time.
Yeah.
All right. Mbappe. So what were the terms of this Al Hilal deal?
So the backstory is PSG wants to get rid of him because they think he's going to Real Madrid next summer and they want to get some money for him. So the Saudi Arabians came in and offered him a deal up to $700 million with sponsorship rights to play 1 season in Saudi Arabia.
It was a transfer fee of $332 million to PSG and $776 million to Mbappe.
What did that have to be?
That's over $1 billion. It's 1.1 bill. Which, if I'm Mbappe, I am really seriously just considering playing in the Saudi League for 1 season and then going to Real Madrid. It's kind of out of his control, but like, man, you're never going to see that much money in your life. Ever. And you're going to make that in 1 season. And it's not like, this isn't like the first time it's happened. The Saudi League's poaching people left, right, and center. Conte, who was great piece of Chelsea, won the league with Leicester City. He's over in Saudi Arabia too right now. Ronaldo, obviously. There's other guys too. I don't know. If I were him, I'd be very conflicted because this type of money sets your family up for countless generations. So
you're also selling your soul to go play for a bunch of corrupt people.
Yeah, but it's 1 season. Someone's gonna do it. Ronaldo did it,
I was seeing, I don't know if he's gonna do it, but I was seeing bigger concerns because it's the second sport the Saudi Arabians have gotten into and have kind of taken over. Like, what's next? All these NBA players are going crazy over this $700 million contract.
Yeah.
Are they going to be in Saudi Arabia pretty soon?
Draymond said, I hope the income my new deal didn't sign yet. Like, bro, come on. They're not offering you jack shit.
That's sort of meme, and it was like the people responded to him and they're like, if Curry's come with you, absolutely. If not, we don't want
you. That's funny. I don't know. What would you guys do if you were in his position? You're the best football player in the world. You're young, up and coming. I don't know.
1 year, right?
Yeah, 1 year deal.
How good is the Saudi league? Like the level of competition?
Not good.
Oh, so he'd make the biggest of bags, and then he would probably just dominate, and it would be like, sure, people would put an asterisk on it, but like, I don't know, why not? If he's planning on leaving in a year anyways.
It's hard to envision that type of money, but
Yeah.
he also probably has that type of money already, and he will if he'll make that much money at some point, whether he goes there or not. I don't know. Like, the righteous person, you're like, no, I would never do such a thing, but it's really hard to turn that much money down.
I
Is
think
this all
he'll
oil
make.
money? Is that what this, like?
Yeah.
I was thinking about this
Yeah.
when they had the golf Saudi
Yeah.
league. Is this just all oil money? They're just
Mhm.
throwing at athletes.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy, dude. That people that owners have this much money.
Yeah, Sean, I think he'll make that much money, but throughout the rest of his life. We're
Yeah.
talking one season.
It's difficult.
I personally, if you're talking to me, it'd be very hard to say no to that, but I'm not a world-class footballer, so.
When when owners throw like this amount of money at players, and going back to the Saudi Golf League too, like at the end of the day, it's investment, right? How do they recoup $1 billion back?
I think
Like,
the big thing is, I think they're trying to gain better publicity in the world's view, and I think political wise, they're trying. It's called like sports wash or something like that, and they're trying to make everyone forget about all the terrible things they do by putting on good sports displays. So the $1 billion, I guess, is in
oh my god,
Yeah,
public image and marketing kind of thing.
yeah, we murdered and tortured people, but hey, Mbappe plays for us.
I don't even know if they consider it an investment. I think they're doing it just because they can. Yeah, I signed Mbappe, bitch. Like, it's fucking nuts. It's absolutely nuts. If I had that type of money, though, I'd probably be doing the same thing.
Yeah.
Not murdering people, but like, getting famous athletes and stuff. That would be fun.
Just so everybody knows, Liam is not going to murder people if he gets so much money. Just put it out there.
No, I have morals.
We want to put that on record, yeah.
We don't endorse that.
Employer.
All right, so we're going to get into what's going to be the most depressing segment of the day, and that's the baseball segment, MLB. If you watched last week's show, you understand why. I do have like something that happened 30 minutes ago, and I don't really know much about this, but I know you guys do. The MLB extended Rob Manfred's term through January of 2029.
God.
I do remember Liam or his rank. One of you guys said that like worse than Goodell, which like was hard to conceptualize for me. So like, what do you think this means?
He's making the owners a shit ton of money, and they're gonna keep paying him, and he keeps doing it, and that's all they care about, and that's really why he's still there. Baseball wise, he's just said terrible things, and
like what terrible things?
And I personally don't hate him as much as people do. So the people are biggest outraged about. So back when the Astros cheating scandal happened, he decided not to take away their World Series trophy, as like he referred to the World Series trophy as just a piece of metal. I think is what he called it, Liam.
Yeah, that's what he said.
And people got very upset about that he wouldn't take away the trophy. But in my mind, I think it's stupid because what's good taking away a trophy for somebody? True, like if somebody went to tell you the Seahawks didn't actually win that championship a couple years ago, would you give a shit? You're like, yeah, I saw it happen. Like I don't care.
Yeah.
But people were upset about that. That's the biggest thing in baseball negotiations. I don't know. Liam probably hates it more, so Liam can give you more.
Yeah, personally, I don't really care about, him taking away the World Series. I care about him not punishing the Astros at all. I thought that was just like ridiculous. People needed to be thrown out of the game for that. Like that was the biggest cheating scandal I think in our like lifetime in like pro sports. I think you could make that argument. Besides like fixing outright like refs in the NBA fixing games and shit like that, but he totally missed just completely missed the mark when he didn't suspend anybody. I think he suspended the coach or something for a year and made them lose a draft pick or something, which that does nothing. But the dude's just an idiot. I don't know. He's an idiot. I do like that he, kind of let these new terms go through with the pitch clock and the bigger bases, stuff like that, but there's just some stuff you can't forgive, and he totally dropped the ball with the Astros, so he's going to be hated forever.
Is that your main gripe with him, or is there a lot of other stuff?
That's kind of my main gripe with him is he handled, the worst cheating scandal in professional sports in probably 100 years. He handled it the worst way he could have by just not doing anything.
Wow. Well, okay.
Yeah, that's my gripe.
No, that's fair. I guess we can turn to
the Mets fan in me, the Liam is.
Yeah, go for it.
The Mets fan in me is happy the Astros cheated though, because it keeps the Yankees from winning a World Series. So.
Yeah, that's true, but I don't know.
All right, deadline stuff.
Yep.
I know me and Liam got into a debate last week about Ohtani and whether he's going to get traded or not in the next 5 days now.
Teams have made
any changes to our opinions through it. You want to weigh in on the Ohtani debate?
I don't know. I see both points. I see Liam's argument. You can't. I see the argument that there's no possible way you can recoup any enough value to make trading Shohei worth it. But at the same time, to get no value and just letting Shohei walk, it's a tough catch-22 for me. I don't know when Trout's supposed to be back, and they're still in playoff contention. Maybe they're just banking on they could make a run or something. They've somehow kept it afloat, mostly just because of Shohei. And I think is Drury out? Drury's out too, or Rendon. One of those two are out, along with Trout.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, I know teams have called. I think Vegas has the next team that he'll be playing for after the deadline. It's still the Angels at minus 300 or something. Maybe it's plus 300, but they're the favorite. I don't know. I don't really have I just don't want to be a Dodger, but I don't really care.
You think he'll be traded?
Me?
Ignoring if he should or shouldn't. Will he?
I don't know. I'm not familiar enough with the history of Angels management to know what their tendencies are.
They're incompetent.
Yeah,
that's all you need to know.
So I would say if they're incompetent, they are just going to stand pat and believe in themselves. And
I think he called you incompetently on your take based on his decision correlating the Angels staying pat. And
no, I think that is the incompetent thing to do.
No, I think that's what they're going to do.
Yeah, no, I agree with Liam. I think that would be the incompetent thing to do, is to sell tickets and have faith when you shouldn't. I don't know.
Sean, I'll ask you this.
Yeah.
I'm on CBS MLB right now, and I'm looking at the top 8 trade destinations right now. And I want to say, out of all these, there's 8 teams: the Rangers, Orioles, Rays, Dodgers, Reds, Padres, Yankees, and Giants. In every single player in here, I've heard of 2 people. I cannot trade Shohei Ohtani for a bunch of prospects that might not make the MLB. I don't care if they're the number 1 ranked prospect in AA. You need to trade him for some already proven, assets. That's why I don't think it's going to happen, because all these guys, it's just
hypothetically, you're the Angels. You're not a Mets fan. You're an Angels, and the Mets come with you with an offer for Alvarez, Batty, Vientos, and Mauricio.
Oh my God.
Are you taking it as the Angels?
Yes.
You have to.
Yes. Yes.
And I wonder if these guys that you don't know in the other leagues are actually like how many people like Truett, if you didn't know us, would you know these random guys in the Mets farm system that we talk about?
I
Okay.
just know Alvarez, and I think the second guy you mentioned just started playing, right?
Yeah.
I don't know the other two though.
Okay, Trude, I'll ask you this. The Padres. Do you know Jackson Merrill?
No.
He was drafted last year.
You know
Do you
who's
know-
good though? We have a 16-year-old catcher named Ethan Salas. That's really good.
Okay, he's not on there. Do you know Dylan Lesko?
No.
He's in Double-A. Do you know Samuel Sabala?
I mean, I've also been a baseball and a Padres fan for like a year and a half. So like I like maybe someone in my position that's like been around.
No,
for
I'm
like,
just saying. All these
Yeah.
guys are in Double-A or Low A. You can't trade Shohei Ohtani, the best baseball player to ever live, for dudes in Double-A and Single-A. That doesn't make any sense. You can't do
from
that.
the Angels perspective. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
agree.
You have to get some assets that are going to be somewhat proven. You can't just trade this guy for prospects.
Is it like somewhat obvious when you have prospects and like, okay, this guy's gonna have like a Corbin Carroll type season or like an Adley type season, or like it's not somewhat obvious like when they're in the liners, or like
No.
Ellie De La Cruz, like you can't tell like when they're in AAA. Okay, like this guy's gonna have like an Ellie De La Cruz.
Not always.
Oh, yeah, the Mets had a guy, Jared Kelenic, who was supposed to be the next Mike Trout.
On the
on the Mariners.
Mariners.
Yeah,
He
he
had a
was
good
supposed to
season.
be he was supposed to be the next Mike Trout. And
I love
his first season in the big leagues, he was terrible. He's somewhat turned it around, but he's not Mike Trout. I'd say this though. The Orioles are the only team that's offering 3 guys in AAA on these mock trades, so I don't know.
I think if you can trade your number one prospect plus maybe like your fourth or fifth best prospect and throw in some major league player, I think the Angels would be foolish to take a trade like that.
Yes, I think so, but I don't know if a team would.
I don't know.
I don't know if a team would offer that now.
You think that's too much?
No, it's just like I'm looking at all these mock trades and it's 3 prospects.
It depends on who the team is, Liam, because if you're a team who feels confident about signing him in the offseason, then you're okay giving up these prospects if you know you have an early advantage of re-signing him. But if you're a team like the Orioles, who I don't think he's going to go to either way, you're going to give up less, I would think, theoretically, because you know you're not going to sign him.
But who has the most leverage here? Is it the teams he might go to, or the Orioles, or Shohei, or the Angels?
It's complicated.
I would say the 3 teams, like the Yankees, the Dodgers. I would say just the Yankees and the Dodgers probably have the most leverage because those are the 2 places where he's most likely going to end up with an extension.
Really?
I think so.
I don't see him ending up I don't see him as the Yankees. He's not a Yankee no matter what. There's no way he's a Yankee after this season.
Rank, I really hope not, but like I can't see him.
The rumors coming out of the Yankees camp is that they're $1.5 million over the salary cap right now, and they want to get below that come trade deadline. A team like that is not thinking about getting Ohtani in the offseason.
Yeah.
They're penny pinchers now.
You know what's crazy too is a team could get him, like that's in the hunt for like a wild card spot right now. They could just miss the playoffs.
Yeah.
I don't know. I
think he stays out west. I think San Francisco, Seattle, LA.
I saw even Arizona and Texas. Like, I can't see him going to a small market team though. I don't know.
I still holding out hope he ends up with the Mets in the offseason. But That's just me.
It's like if the Cavs were to trade LeBron like before he went to the Heat, if they were to trade him, like what could you get in return for that? I don't know. It's gonna mess everything up regardless. It's gonna be like a Rudy Gobert situation where like people just can't get traded. Well, actually, I guess not really because he's just the best. But
yeah.
I don't know. This is so weird. It's very odd.
Did you say like because like I feel like every sport's different in terms of what's more impactful in terms of like team success, whether it's trading or free agency. You know what I mean? Like I would say probably like the NFL is probably a little bit more free agency. You know what I mean? And maybe the NBA's trade maybe because everyone's just asking for trades nowadays. Like what would you say the MLB is?
I hate to say it, but it's prospects. I think.
Yeah,
because baseball, it's just like if you think about it compared to like basketball or football, each guy has a minimal contribution on your team. Like what Shohei does for his team compared to like what LeBron does, it's not even close. LeBron contributes a lot more just because Shohei is one of 26 guys. He can only pitch, once every 5 starts. He only hits 4 times a night.
Once every 9.
Yeah. So they're always thinking about the future, and it's more like a team thing rather than you need like you don't. I hate to say it, to win, you don't even need to star. When the Braves won, they won without Acuna. They were missing their best player, top 5 player in the world. Like, I don't know. It's so weird. That's why baseball's the best, though, because just everybody has to ball out,
Yeah.
But they're very invested in the future, I'd say.
Interesting. So that's why you're saying this trade has to be centered around prospects.
It's going to be centered around prospects, but I can't see a world in which they get no assets that are already proven, because it doesn't make any sense. It's even when Mookie Betts got traded from the Red Sox to the Dodgers, the Red Sox still got back like Alex Verdugo, who was a proven MLB player as well as prospects. For these mock trades to not even have like proven MLB players in them, I think it's really odd.
And but mock trades in general. But yeah. I agree.
Yeah.
All right, I guess we'll have to see. You said it's 5 days, right?
Yeah, July 31st.
Let's talk about other players. Is Belly going to get traded? He's having a good season, right? In Chicago.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he's gone somewhere. Definitely with teams wanting outfielders. I can see the Yankees making a move maybe for Bellinger.
Yeah. He would be a good fit there. I hate to say it.
The Cubs are out of it, and he's a guy who can value.
Didn't Kiki just get traded to the Dodgers now? Or back to the Dodgers?
Yeah, that's a good trade for the Red Sox. They got much needed bullpen help.
I know that Snell and Hader are both expiring deals that a lot of people thought would get traded. It sounds like they're just going to run it for the rest of the season and not trade them, which I think is for the best. We'll see what happens in the offseason. But I think those are the 2 guys for us that were most likely to get traded. Assuming because I mean, this team, you could say are buyers and sellers. You could say they can blow it up or just like one arm away. I don't know. There's a lot of different directions. So I'm glad that they're keeping. Snell's been our best pitcher this season, and I know he's on an expiring deal, but and obviously Hader's our best bullpen guy. So I'm glad that they're staying around. What about you guys?
I didn't realize how good Hader's been for you guys this season.
Dude, so good.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Under 1 ERA.
Wow.
He's not leading the league in saves, but he's up there. He's been so much better than last season. He had 1 hiccup versus the Dodgers when he gave up but it was the Dodgers, and I think it was Mookie Betts that hit the home run. But other than that, he's just been incredible this season.
You asked the question. Sure, the Mets. I think that they will be sellers in some capacity. I don't think they'll find a person who will take on Verlander or Scherzer, who will give them enough back in return for those guys. So I think both of them are still around there post trade deadline. I think guys like Mark Hanna could be gone, players like that. But I feel like I want them to almost retool in this aspect of get some prospects if you can. But if there's I saw the Reds guy, Jonathan India.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody who's controllable in the future, I would be perfectly okay with them going to get a guy like that who can help us next year, because I maybe it's wishful thinking, but I still think we're a contender next year going forward, and that's who we need to be moving forward.
I definitely agree. I wish if the Mets could get because Verlander's really picked it up over this last 2-month stretch. If they could get anything for him, I would kind of do it. I don't know if I doubt they're gonna have anything.
Who would you rather trade? Trade one of the two of them.
Verlander. Just flip him. Just came off a Cy Young season. He's starting to pitch really well again. He's been looking good. Give us some prospects. Give us some pitching prospects. That's what we need. But I think
that'd be really nice.
The Cubs, I think Bellinger's going to go, and I think Stroman might go too.
I saw Stroman. Yeah, he's having a really good season too.
Yeah, he was an all-star. I think.
Are they just punting on the season and just selling to get value?
I think that's what they should do. Because they have Dansby Swanson. They're not going to trade him. He's their shortstop of the future. I think you get prospects and build around him. They're not going to win with this team, so it kind of really doesn't matter. But I'd love to see Stroman. I don't like the guy, but I think if he went to a team like the Diamondbacks, that would be really interesting. Because I think they would be a force to be reckoned with pitching wise.
Yeah,
him and Zach Gallen.
And yeah, I wouldn't like that. But what about so are the Cardinals are they just clearing shop? I saw something about Arenado might be traded or not.
Yeah.
Or Goldschmidt.
You think they trade Goldie?
Rank. Mets trade Beatty and someone else for Arenado. What do you think?
Sign me up right now.
Yeah. That would be
is Montgomery gonna get traded?
I saw that. I don't know.
Everybody needs a fourth, fifth starter. These type of guys that potentially can be on the block. It's going to be interesting to see who becomes the buyers and sellers, because a lot of these teams who are on the chopping block won yesterday, and kind of now the deadline, some of these guys get hot. See who actually gets traded and who doesn't.
I know.
Yeah, but I mean, aren't the Cardinals just doing so bad? The
Cardinals are going to be sellers. But
12 games under 500.
I saw Tyler O'Neill might be on the block for them. He's kind of having a down year. He's an outfield guy. If the Yankees don't get Cody Bellinger, I could see them getting him. Pirates too. They have two pitchers. Mitch Keller's been having an incredible season, kind of out of nowhere, and David Bednar as well. Those are the type of guys that older guys that are kind of having I don't want to say flash in the pan, but some of the best seasons of their career type seasons. Those are the guys that get traded because there's not a lot of value behind him, I guess.
Yeah, Bednar's been a really good relief pitcher, really good closer. Are there any teams you think the Orioles well, I have a question about the Orioles possibly winning the World Series, but do you think they go out and bolster what they've got going on?
They have to.
Or just yeah.
They got to at least try.
Yeah.
See, the White Sox too, Giolito. I don't know. I could see him being gone. They have a lot of guys that I think they should flip for prospects because they underperform every single season.
Yeah. Any other guys before we just get straight into predictions?
Juan Soto.
Predictions.
Juan Soto?
It's not gonna happen.
Which one you just said, Juan Soto? Yeah, that was. I didn't like that he was flying. I think I said this last time. I didn't like that he was flying back to the Phillies, but no, I mean, yeah, we have a lot of deals that we need to figure out. I think he's got one more season, and then he needs the extension. Versus Snell and Hader are, I don't know. I mean, I would obviously like Soto to stay. He's having a really good bounce back year. Just crushed an absolute homer last night. A lot of guys are getting really hot at the right time. Manny's now tied. He's tied the Padres record for most home runs in July ever. In a single 1 month period. After starting the season just so abysmal. I don't know. I mean, I think we're finishing the Pirates series tonight, and then we have a series versus the Rangers. I think it's going to really tell what happens to the deadline. I think if we get like swept by the Rangers, we'll see what happens. But yeah, obviously I would like Soto to stay. I think this Bogaerts deal is already turning out to be a bit of a miss. If you like look at the averages and everything, like Hossa and Kim's having a better season than Bogaerts, which is like Hossa and Kim's been amazing this season, but that's not the point. But yeah, I'd be pretty sad if Juan Soto got traded. I don't think it's going to happen.
Okay. Do you want to move into wild cards before we get into awards?
Yeah.
Obviously, let's start in the NL because I know both of us are vying for a spot. Right now, the Reds are a game above a wild card spot, or like a
half game.
Half game. Diamondbacks and Giants are in it, and then Phillies, Marlins are half out. Cubs are 5, Padres are 6, Mets are 7. A couple teams have been cooling down, right? I think the Marlins and Cubs have really been cooling down as of late. And you look at that 5, 6, 7, us 3. Obviously we need a couple series to go our way. Really need the Phillies to fall off. Giants have cooled down a lot. The Reds have cooled down.
I don't know. Like, what do you think? Obviously, there's a lot of games left. We still have like 60 games.
I think. You go first, right?
You can go, Liam.
I was gonna say, I think 2 of the teams that hold a wild card spot right now aren't gonna make the playoffs.
Okay.
Who's making the playoffs then?
I think it's gonna be, not the Reds. It's gonna be one of the Diamondbacks and the Giants, just because they play each other a lot. It's gonna be one of the Phillies or the Marlins, and then it's gonna be one of the Padres and the Mets.
Wow. So Cubs are just falling out of there.
Yeah, because they're gonna.
Well, especially if they sell. Yeah.
I think they're gonna sell. So.
Wow. So they're really going to sell this close to being. They just don't think that they have enough in the tank to get over that 5-game hump.
I don't think they have enough in the tank. Just looking at their roster, but.
So you gave a bunch of and/ors, Liam. You need a solidified 3.
Okay, I think the Diamondbacks will beat out the Giants. I think the Marlins will beat out the Phillies, and I think the Mets will come from behind, sneak into the playoffs as a 7 seed, and make the World Series. Write that down.
All right, Rick, you're going to be the voice of reason out of the 2 of you. What's your 3?
I disagree with Liam.
Also, wait, before you go, Liam, I understand, like, you're saying one of these.
Yeah.
But you're all like, why are you saying that? So the Diamondbacks out of the Diamondbacks and the Giants, and then you're choosing one of the Phillies, Marlins. So why do the Giants fall all the way below all those teams?
Interdivisional rivals. I think the Giants will go on a big losing streak. Actually, I don't think that. I really hope they do. And I hope the Mets catch up.
Okay, fair.
Yeah. That's just what I hope. I think it would be cool to see the Marlins and the Diamondbacks make the playoffs, as well as the Mets. I think that would be really cool.
Let's just have the wild card teams from last year, but like we'll hear with the Phillies, put something else in there. Right? That'd be nice.
Yeah.
Right. Carve out the delusion that Liam and I are spewing.
I don't get the hate for the Reds. I think the Reds will win. I think the Reds are going to make the playoffs. And then I have the Diamondbacks over the Giants. I agree. And then I think the Mets will come back and win it. So I think it's Reds, Diamondbacks, Mets.
Yeah. That was a lot of reason, wasn't it?
What am I supposed to say now? I mean, what are the Marlins doing? Are they selling? Like,
I think they're
they're 2-8 in their last 10. That's pretty bad.
Yeah, they were on an 8-game losing streak, I think.
Jesus Christ.
They will. Yeah.
I'm gonna agree with Liam. I think with Sean, I think the Reds stay there. I just really like Ellie, and I think they're doing good stuff there. I think the Diamondbacks, especially if Liam's thing comes to fruition and they get Strawman, that'd be pretty crazy. I don't know. I mean, like, I don't like the Phillies like, I'm not gonna say as much as you guys don't like the Phillies, but I don't like the Phillies as well. But they're playing some, like, you need them to really fall off too, you know. I'm sure you guys have a couple series versus them that you guys really need to sweep and or win.
Yeah. We always take care of the Phillies in the regular season. We have for the past couple of years now.
Okay, good. Well, then that helps me a lot too. So I hate to just echo what Sean's saying, but I'm going to alter it a little bit. I'm just going to say one of Padres, Mets, but I'm going to say Reds and Diamondbacks as well. Assuming Cubs sell, Marlins fall off, and you guys just absolutely butt fuck the Phillies. But I'm still not seeing how, like, the Giants would completely fall out of contention, but I guess it's like, yeah, maybe, like, just to get that last spot, I just have to root for the Diamondbacks to, like, just sweep every series with the Giants from now on. But I don't know.
That's more of a hope, not like actually something I believe in. You know.
Gotta believe.
Yeah. There's a lot of we're definitely very objective people here on Fun Locker Room. We're definitely, you know, no bias whatsoever.
All right, we can be less biased on the AL predictions. Who's winning the wild card in the AL?
You start us off, Rank.
Yeah, I can go first this time. Unlike the NL, where I think we think people are going to fall off, I don't see these teams falling off. I think the Rays and the Astros are pretty set. I think both of them are good enough and will make deals at deadline to make them wild card teams. The third one, you could throw a lot of teams in there, but I really think the Blue Jays just have one of the most talented teams on paper in all of baseball, one of the best lines in baseball, and I think they're going to get the third wild card spot. I think it's pretty chalk in the AL. I think these three teams are going to do it.
This is when they finally make the playoffs, Rank?
Yeah.
Interesting. Truett, who do you got?
Is the AL usually, like, the dominant league, or is this just, like, this year type of thing?
There's really no dominant league.
Okay. Because, I mean, there's just a lot of really good fucking teams here. I don't know. I mean, do I want the Angels to make it? I think that'd be cool. Like, playoff Shohei would just be awesome. Rays have really fallen off, 2-8 in the last 10. But it doesn't seem like they're going to fall off enough to miss it. Judge is supposed to come back soon, right? I have to think that might help the Yankees a little bit. I don't know. We just played the Blue Jays, and they didn't really look like, I know they've been a good team this year and everything, but they didn't really look that impressive. Like, we were able to really take care of them, and I don't know if that's just like a matchup thing, but they just didn't really impress me whatsoever. And, like, obviously I've heard, like, a lot of the good stuff they're doing. Maybe we caught them on an off series or something. And it was in Toronto too. I'm going to say Rays, Astros, and one of Yankees, Angels. I think it'd be cool for the Mariners to make it, but that's my three. Liam?
Okay. Yeah. I think in the East, the AL East, I think the Rays are going to jump the Orioles, but the Orioles will make the playoffs. Well, just as a wild card team, though. I think the same thing's going to happen in the West. The Astros will jump the Rangers. The Rangers will make the playoffs. So those are my two locked in. And then I don't know, going forward, I think it's got to be one of the AL East teams. I'd really like to see the Blue Jays in the playoffs just because, like, the last couple seasons they've kind of gotten screwed having to play in the best division in baseball. I don't want to be the same as you, Rank. You know what? We saw what happened in the World Baseball Classic. It was Trout versus Ohtani in the biggest at bat of the entire game, We're going to ride that magic into the playoffs. The Angels are going to come out of nowhere, make the playoffs, which cements Shohei Ohtani staying in Los Angeles as an Angel. That's my prediction.
I like that. All right, we'll have to see. And it's probably too early to do any World Series predictions, but let's get into, before we go into birthdays, hoop grids, let's do, I guess, MVP, Cy Young, Rookie of the Year. And I guess if you guys want to talk about season of performers, like, it's your chance to shit on the Phillies, but it's also your chance to shit on your own roster. So, who do we have for MVP, Cy Young, Rookie of the Year?
I think the both MVPs in their leagues are pretty, I don't want to say set in stone, but basically there already. Obviously, Shohei's going to win the AL MVP. He could get hurt tomorrow and not play another game. I think he'd still deserve to win it. In the NL, Ronald Acuna is on pace for I don't think it's a 40-80 season anymore. I think it's like a 40-70 something season, but he's going to win MVP. Those two are just heads above the other people. So
I'm gonna agree with you there. I think it doesn't seem like it's very close this year. There's no Shohei Judge thing like last year. I'm gonna agree with you here. It seems like there's two pretty solidified candidates. Rank?
Definitely Ohtani. Not much debate there. He might the home run record at this point.
Okay. Cy Young. I want to hear what you guys say first before I say my.
yeah, so my opening day pick to win the Cy Young in the NL was actually Zach Gallen, and that's looking pretty good for me right now. So I'm gonna ride with my boy. I really hope that he wins it over Spencer Strider and Blake Snell. Sorry, Truitt. In the AL,
okay.
Garrett Cole,
I gotta give a quick shout. Is winning the Young Award. He's been dominating for my fantasy baseball team, and I am in love with the guy.
Who did you say? Sorry.
Framber Valdez. Framber.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I was between I don't want Garrett Cole to win it, so I'm not going to pick him. I was between Framber and Shane, and since Rick, I think you're going to pick Framber, I'll pick Shane McClanahan. I hope it's either one of those two that win it. That would be awesome.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Garrett Cole. I know you guys aren't gonna like that pick. And just to be different, I really like Zach Allen. I think he's having a great year. I'm gonna go with Blake Snell, and I don't know if you guys would agree with this. I was reading somewhere that or actually it might have been a commentator in a game was saying that so I'll ask you the question first. Does record really matter for pitching anymore?
No.
No.
You would need the run support, right? I think Blake Snell is just having a better season than Zach Allen. He's got a 2.61 ERA and 147 strikeouts, which are both better than Zach Allen. I don't know how much winning has to do with Cy Young. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. But I would choose Blake Snell. I know it's a little biased, but I just think he's having a phenomenal, he started off the season really bad, but if you look at his last, call it 10 starts, he's just been phenomenal. I think he was such a snub for an all-star. Guy's from Seattle too, so he just had to go home and chill at his Seattle house and just they were telling some funny story in the Padres broadcast about how one of Blake Snell's friends went home, got tickets to go to the All-Star game, and he was going to go, and Blake Snell's bro, you're not going if you want to stay with the thing. So he was pretty torn up about not making it, but
that's just a long way of saying, yeah, Blake Snell's my pick.
Do
You guys think I'm delusional or no?
A little bit.
Really? Okay. All right, that's fair. Rookie of the year, is Corbin Carroll a shoo-in or no?
All yeah.
But I want to say Alvarez is going to win it, but there's not a real chance.
Yeah, and considering Alvarez might miss some time, I don't know.
AL, though, I like Gunnar Henderson from the Orioles a lot.
Yeah, he's going to have a good season.
I really like this AL thing. I really like the guy in Boston, Yoshida.
Yeah, he's good too.
He's a beast. I think the dude from the Rangers, Josh Jung, he's sick. Gunnar Henderson's sick. There are a lot of guys. I don't know.
It's a 3-player race, basically.
I think Josh is the favorite out of the 3. But,
really? Wow.
Yeah, according to most betting places, but they're all very close. I'm just curious. Like, this has nothing to do with whether he's going to win or not. Did Volpe end up having a good season? The Yankees?
No. He's struggled. He's been struggling. I think I'm gonna go with my guy Yoshida because Josh Jung, he's got a lot of protection in the Rangers lineup with like Seager, Simeon, Adolis Garcia. Yoshida is kind of like it's been him, obviously Rafi's good. Justin Turner's having a good season, but like outside of that, they're a lot less loaded. So I'm gonna go with my boy Yoshida, and I really wish the Mets went after him more because I think if we got him and Senga, that would, oh my god, it would have been perfect. But yeah, I'm gonna go with Masataka.
Does like for Rookie of the Year when you get called up from AAA, does that start your rookie season?
No, it's first full season or first. Okay. Yeah. You have to play enough games.
I know he's in the NL, but so like Ellie isn't eligible.
Yeah, I think he'll be eligible. It depends how many games you play.
Okay, but that's NL anyways. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Yoshida too. I like your point about the having the support in the lineup. Rankus, you say yours already?
Yeah, I said mine.
Okay,
I had Gunnar.
Gunnar, that's right.
I like Gunnar a lot. He's pretty sick.
Do you guys want to talk about season of the performers? Or is this the excuse to just shit on Trey Turner, which I'm all game for?
Yeah, he's been a huge disappointment. Dude's making errors left, right, and center, getting booed off the field at Citizens Bank.
Got ejected that same game.
It's kind of hilarious. I hate to say it. Actually, I don't hate to say it. I like to say it, but it is hilarious.
What's the issue with him?
I don't know. Dude went from the best shortstop in the league to like poop in the bed. Can't hit for power anymore.
OPS. Oh my god. His slugging is 384.
Ooh.
Those are all, it looks like, worst of his career except for his rookie season. Yeah, that's pretty bad.
It's not good.
And like the errors too. Like, do you think something just like, he's in his head a little bit too much? Like he made like 2 pretty bad errors that game that you're talking about.
Yeah.
He's in his head, and you're in Philly, so you're going to have to deal with Philly sports fan, which definitely does not make it easy.
Shout out to who is that guy? Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, the Eagles guy. They asked him what his least favorite part about playing in Philadelphia, and his reply was the people.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Well, I think we can all agree on that there.
Yep.
So hopefully Trey Turner doesn't turn it around. That's a really shitty thing to say, but whatever.
Oops.
Whatevs. All right. Do we have anything else to talk about before we get into birthdays, hoops grid?
Let's do a hoops grid. I'm excited for this one this time.
You want to do the hoops grid first, Frank?
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay. Okay.
Birthdays have to be last. It's a tradition.
Yeah. Can you guys see what's going on here?
Yes.
Yep.
Sweet. So we got Celtics, Sixers, Celtics, Suns, Celtics all defensive.
Celtics, Suns, Isaiah Thomas.
Yep. I don't want to
throw Smart on the all defensive.
Yep. This is okay. That's the right one.
You want to throw Horford on the Sixers one too?
Yeah.
That was pretty easy first round.
Yeah, that wasn't that bad.
Okay.
Heat Suns. Who's the guy who did the edibles in the plane?
Oh, Dion. He played on the
Suns.
Yeah, on the Suns.
I don't think he played.
Put a Marcus brother. Put Marquise.
Yeah.
Morris brother. Sorry. Took edibles. I love how that's what he's known for.
Nice.
Yeah. Nice. Look at that.
4%. Look at that.
Well, Heat Sixers obviously Jimmy, but anybody deeper than Jimmy?
We gotta find someone better than Jimmy. All defensive.
Bam.
Bam made all defensive. Yep. Mo Bamba.
Should we give ourselves like a criteria? Like we got to be under like 15%. Like try to make it rare. Well, we there's three of us together. Like I feel like we could do some damage.
Yeah. Lakers, Suns. Trying to think of like.
Yeah,
old...
I feel like people wouldn't choose Steve Nash. That's gonna be.
You don't think so?
Maybe. Oh, jeez.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh. You could put Markieff Morris for that one too.
Wilt Chamberlain's one, but I don't know how.
Okay. There's got to be like some old bummy, like, pre-tank Sixers.
Or like really early tank.
Yeah.
Like
no.
All defensive team Lakers. Did
they just have to have had played on there, right? Like, did Avery Bradley ever make an all defensive team?
Yes.
Ooh, he probably did.
He definitely did. Oh.
No?
I guess it has to be with the team, I think.
I don't think it's with the team, right?
Well,
I think they had to.
AD's that one.
Yeah. We could go Anthony Davis. Did like Ron Artest or like
Lamar? Try Ron. Oh, Lamar would be a crazy pick. Can I put him as meta?
Nope. Okay.
I'm not gonna.
Rank you just want to go Anthony?
Yeah.
Mr. Davis. That's not even that high. Wow. Yeah, Jimmy's too easy for Sixers Heat.
Go Josh Richardson.
Oh yeah.
Ooh.
He was fun fact about him. He was the first NBA player I followed on Instagram.
Are you? Why?
I don't know.
That's so random.
Okay, we got to think of one that's better than Wilt.
No, he didn't do that.
Sixers Lakers. I'm trying to think of bums.
Danny Green too.
Yeah.
Danny Green's too common.
Yeah, because you could use Danny. I've used Danny Green the last like 3 days. So
JJ Redick work.
JJ.
He wasn't on the Lakers.
What team did Kwame Brown play for?
Dude, after Lakers.
Kwame Brown. I'm surprised Markieff Morris was that low. Whatever. Just do Wilt. See how much it is. 25%? That's not even that much. Your score is better than 3.92 percentage rates.
That's terrible.
Wow.
We're doing another one. Come on. We're going to do another one.
Okay. You guys done this one? Ooh 12 plus rebounds. game. I got this one.
Nice. Nice. That's a good pick.
Zaza.
Oh, go MCW for Bucks Bulls. I feel like that might be a rare one.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Bucks Bulls. Nice.
Nice.
Who was strapping down boards for the Clippers?
Zubac?
Yeah. 12 plus? I'll try it.
Maybe.
No.
They're going to think DeAndre Jordan. It's not going to be Zubac.
Do we want to see DeAndre Jordan? What about like a guy like, did Elton Brand ever, was he holding it down in the paint for him?
He might have.
I'm going to try it. 12 rebounds is a lot. It's a lot of rebounds, yeah. We'll just say DeAndre.
Dude, Loki did Plumlee average 12.
Oh, 56%.
Oh.
Wow.
That's so high.
Who's a board lord for the Bulls? Booch?
Give me artist.
Bill
Loki.
Cartwright.
Yeah. Bill Cartwright?
Wow.
He got that many rebounds, Rank? I thought he was just
He was
terrible.
a center back then.
Yeah, that's true.
Could
go Rodman. Could go Gilmore.
Try Gilmore. I feel like that's got to be more rare.
Gilmore's got to be like 20-something%. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
What do you think Rodman was? He had to have been higher, right?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Warriors,
Jazz.
Oh, who's that fucker?
Did Ian Clark play?
The Jazz? Oh,
What?
nice.
My God, dude.
I did not know he was on the Jazz. Holy fuck.
Yeah. Oh, he was low-key tough on the Jazz.
No, he was not. Don't say he was tough on the Jazz.
Did Jordan Clarkson play for the Clippers? No, he's the Lakers, right?
Lakers.
Yeah, that was the Lakers. Jazz Bulls. Ooh.
Booze Cruise.
Oh,
Is that too common?
Why not? 23. That's not bad. They don't even have a photo for him. Poor guy. Bucks Clippers. Oh man, I'm trying to think. Not Urson. Larry Sanders.
Dude, Larry Sanders. Was he Clippers?
I don't know.
I think he was.
Did he?
The goggles guy, right?
Dude, he was tough on the Bucks.
He was.
He didn't. Trying to think. Brandon Jennings. Who else was on that team? Did OJ Mayo play on the Clippers? No. Brandon Knight. Did he play on the Clippers?
He was with the Suns beforehand. It's possible.
Who did 12 rebounds a game for the Warriors besides Wilt? Bogut, maybe? David Lee? Did you think David Lee was pulling down 12 boards a game?
Dude, David Lee was undersized. There's no way.
Draymond might have done it.
There's no way.
There's no way.
Really? I think Draymond could have done it.
Okay. You know what, Rick? We will believe in you. Draymond Green? Did Bogut play for the Clippers? I know we could have put Bogut here. Zaza was a good shout, though.
Nate Thurmond.
Oh, that's a good shout.
Yeah. There we go. 15
nice.
Rank. Good stuff.
I see him in every single statistic I ever up for trivia.
Clippers Jazz. Did Matt Barnes ever play for the Jazz? No.
Derek Favors.
Derek Favors. He was Pelicans Thunder. Jazz, I thought.
Yeah, I don't think Clippers.
Bucks. Clippers. Did Corey Maggette play for the Bucks? I'm just tossing names out.
Wait. Weird question. Would Russ count?
No. I mean, maybe.
No. Jazz Clippers. be someone. Clippers guard. Did Earl Watson ever play for the Jazz?
Jesus, that's quite the name.
Jameer Nelson didn't play on the Jazz. Played on the Nuggets. Oh, man.
Did Randy Foye play on the Jazz?
Dude, may have. Villanova ledge. Oh, bang!
The shot in the dark.
Clippers.
I did not know. I didn't even know Randy Foye was in the Jazz. That's crazy.
Oh.
What? He was on the Bucks? When was he on the Bucks?
Dude,
Holy
I don't
shit.
know. It just came to me. There we go. That was
That's
wow.
a much better board. We did
Yeah,
well.
look at that, dude. We got 4 golds and a silver. If we
I
didn't
think
have
we could have
DeAndre,
found. Yeah, I think we could have found one better than DeAndre.
who would have done it besides DeAndre? I'm trying to think. Maybe Bob McAdoo. Would that count? Oh, that definitely would have. Whatever.
All right, what
Nice.
birthdays we got, Liam?
Okay. We got a couple birthdays today. We'll start off in the MLB. We got G1 Bay. Happy birthday, G1.
He won.
Any legends on here? Jose Batista. Oh, wrong Jose Batista. This guy's 59, so not the Jose Batista we know, but happy birthday to him. In basketball, Jawan Evans.
Nice.
Happy birthday to you. Delonte West, LeBron's dad. Happy birthday. Wow. Walker Kessler. Happy birthday to you. He turns 22 today.
Wow.
That's awesome.
Future
Awesome.
superstar.
Yep. And in football, we got, I don't know any of these people. Scotty Washington. Scotty doesn't
Happy
know.
birthday, Scotty.
Yep. Isaiah Simmons. There we go. Happy birthday, Isaiah. And Woodley Appleton. Happy birthday, Woodley. Moving over to NHL. Don't know any of these guys. Soccer, we got I don't know any of these people either. Jeez. Lacrosse, no one's gonna know those people anyway. Yeah, happy birthday though. Happy birthday, Woodley.
Woodley. Big Wood.
Yep.
Shout
Big
out
man
Big
himself.
Wood. Shout out all the Big Woods in the world. Shout out Rank.
Yeah.
Yeah, great.
All right. Thank you everybody for watching Fun in the Locker Room. It's July 26, 2023. Honestly, like, do you guys have any idea like what number episode ever we're on?
I think we're on 69.
All right, episode 69. Thanks
Nice.
everyone for being here. Go celebrate the 69th episode accordingly. We hope to see you soon for another episode of Fun in the Locker Room. I think we're going to try and make this a weekly thing. Still figuring out the recordings and everything like that, so you might see some formatting changes. But thanks as always. YouTube, Twitter, Sean Rankle, Liam Holloway, True Car Sitter. Signing out. We'll see you on the next Fun in the Locker Room. Big
All right.